Okay, well there's one house with some decorations. I showed this one last night, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down. There's a house with some fancy green and red Christmas lights shining. That's kind of pretty. Anyway, let's go down this way. People were kind of getting into the Christmas spirit, I guess. Yeah, that's something. There's a house down the road here I want to show though. It's quite impressive. There's somebody else that has them. They've got their lights flashing. Yeah, look at that. Huh, they change color. The red and green, it's like a stoplight. This house here actually belongs to a relation of mine. He's a cousin of my mother's. He's the son of my mother's uncle. Well, basically my mother's father's brother. That's who he is. He's a son of my mother's father's brother, if that makes any sense. I was disowned by my mother's father when I was 12. So I don't really refer to him as my grandfather because he didn't want me referring to him that way. I refused to continue. I refused to stop being Catholic, as I was a pretty devout Roman Catholic at the time. And I also refused to disassociate from my dad's parents, and that upset him. Here we go. Now we're coming up to the house I wanted to show you. Yeah. So, for that reason, he disowned me. So that's an explanation anyway for the convoluted, that's an explanation for the convoluted way I phrase that anyway. There we go. Ooh, there you go, that's pretty. That's not the one I want to show you. The one I want to show you is next door, but that is still quite pretty. I like the way the lights are. Oh, they're actually like snowflakes. Yeah. Yeah. Look at that, eh? Isn't that neat? Yeah. All right. Pretty neat. Here we go. Here's the one here with the big Santa Claus. This is the one I wanted to show you. When I was driving by it in the truck last night, it was pretty impressive. I'll stop in a minute so you can get a good look at it. Yeah, here we go. All right. Well, that house there we sold by auction when I worked for the auctioneer. And it sold for $39,000 in 2017. And just recently that house was on the market for $500,000. Now there's been some renovations done. It's a better house now, a nicer house now than it was. But yeah, there's pretty, look at that, eh? That's like Clark Griswold's house. Pretty impressive. Indeed. Well, other than some lights on that house over there, on the eaves and whatnot, there isn't really anything else close enough that I want to walk to it. So we go back this way. I like those snowflakes. That's really neat how they do that. Look at that, eh? That's beautiful. All right. Anyway, that's the housing market, the crazy housing market we're in now. One extreme to the other. Yeah, just since 2017. All right, let's go back up this way. That's kind of a pretty picture with the sky as the sun goes down, eh? Pretty neat. Yeah. Beauty. Beautiful. Yeah. Anyway, at that house, I actually bought the contents of all the sheds. And the man who had owned that house was what they call a jobber. He did different jobs, mechanical repairs and welding and all sorts of things. And I bought the contents of all the sheds on the property for $4. And I hauled over $1,000 worth of scrap metal out of that place. And then on top of that, I hauled a bunch of antiques and a bunch of sewing machines, because his wife was a seamstress, and these were professional quality sewing machines. Look at that, the moon. Beauty. These were professional sewing machines. And they were older ones from the 50s and 60s. And I ended up making around $3,000 out of that. Between the scrap metal and the sewing machines and everything, I made around $3,000. It was quite a good thing. Anyway, there we go. I got to get this on film here. Look at that, Lots of barking dogs. All right. Anyway, we'll see y'all later. I'm going to turn this off now.